Welcome back, my amazing kindergarten artists. It's time for our winter art project, Winter Snow. Our learning goal for this project is mixed media. A mixed media is when we produce a work of art through mixed media or fibers that utilize multiple processes. Our learning targets for this project are, I can use good craftsmanship and I can use texture in my art. Let's take a look at what I can use texture in my art means. What is texture? Texture simply means how something feels when it's touched. We're going to take a look at these 4 items and see what kind of textures we think they might have. What do you think the texture of this would feel like? This is a piece of cotton. Do you think this looks like it's soft, or do you think it looks like it's rough? We're looking at the white part. I think it's soft. Yes, it's soft. What do you think the texture of this would feel like? These are marbles. Do they look smooth or do they look rough? The shine on them sure makes them seem like they might be smooth. Yes, they are smooth. What do you think the texture of this would feel like? These are rocks. Do they look smooth or do they look rough? They don't look as smooth as the marbles. They look like they might be a little sharp. Yes, they're rough. What do you think the texture of this would feel like? Does this pumpkin look smooth, or does it look like it might be rough or bumpy? Well, it doesn't look smooth. It looks like it doesn't feel very smooth. So yes, I would say it's bumpy. Can we make texture in our art? We can make texture in our art by ripping, cutting, or even folding paper together and adding it to our artwork. The materials you'll need today are white paper, white crayons, and watercolor paints. All right, boys and girls, let's get started. The materials you'll need to get started are a piece of white paper, a glue stick, white crayon, watercolor paints, markers, or crayons. All right, boys and girls, it's time to begin. All right, boys and girls, now we're ready to start our winter snowflake picture. First, I want you to make sure that you have a piece of white paper that has no lines, and you're going to set it up vertically, which is a long way up and down, also hamburger style. And what you're going to need today is you will need a white crayon, and you're going to need watercolor paints. And we're going to be working with some blue watercolor paint, green, and purple. And the first thing I want you to do is you are going to take your white crayon and we're going to draw some snowflakes on our paper. And I know that you're not going to see it very well because, if at all actually, because we're using white on white. But what you're going to do is you're going to create a snowflake. And I'm going to show you how to draw a snowflake on a separate piece of paper since you won't be able to see it very well when I do the white. But when we're creating a snowflake, you can make your snowflake 2 different ways. The first way you can make a snowflake is by making an X, a line down the center, and a line this way down the center. That's one way that you can create a snowflake. The other way is just by making little circles. So now that you know how to draw a snowflake, you're going to use your white crayon on your white paper, and I want you to push pretty hard with your white crayon. And you're going to draw those snowflakes all over your paper. And again, you can either draw the snowflakes with the X method I showed you, or you can do them with little circles, or you can do both. But I want you to fill your paper with lots of snowflakes. You can't have too many, so just keep making them all over your paper. Once you feel like you've drawn enough snowflakes covering your paper, wipe off the excess crayon that may come off because you're pushing really hard with your crayon. And now you're ready to use your blue watercolor paints. And we're going to use a mixture of blue, some purple, and some green, which are actually our cool colors, they're called. And it doesn't matter which one you start with, but make sure you've got lots of watercolor on your brush, and you're just going to go back and forth along your paper. Use extra water when you're doing this, and you're going to see when you're painting back and forth, you're going to see all those beautiful snowflakes that you created using your white crayon. And the harder that you pushed with your crayon, the brighter your snowflakes are going to be on your paper. And once you are done with the blue, you can use green and purple. So we're going to stick to those three colors, and because they look really pretty when they blend together. And since there are cool colors and we're talking about a winter scene, it makes sense for us to use cool colors because winter is a colder time. Make sure when you're doing this, one really important thing is to make sure you use extra water on your brush. So if you don't know if you have enough water, go ahead and dip your brush in the water one more time because it gives it that much more and it makes the paint go on very smooth on your paper. Make sure that you fill in all the white parts of your paper with your watercolor paint. And once you're finished with that, then you're going to stop, set it somewhere safe so it can dry. While we're waiting for our paint to dry, let's do a little art review on what good craftsmanship means. What is good craftsmanship? Showing good craftsmanship means showing good quality in your artwork. How can we tell if we are using good craftsmanship? There are lots of different ways we can show good craftsmanship in our artwork. Some of the most important things to look for are coloring. Are you coloring in all of the places that your artwork needs color, or are you leaving empty or white spaces? Details. Are you adding extra details to your artwork? Patience. Are you paying attention to what you are making and taking your time, not rushing to finish your artwork early? Coloring. Let's take a look at these 4 pictures of a flower. The 4 is the one that's colored the best. A 3 would be the next best, and then you have 2 and 1. The 4 has no white spots showing. They took their time and filled in all the spots with color. Number 3, you can see some white spots, but they still did a very good job filling in all of the spaces and staying in the lines. 2, there's a lot of white spots showing, but we are seeing some color. And 1, there's barely any color. They left out the center and there's not a lot showing. Details. Let's look at these pictures of burgers that were made using construction paper. We have a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1. The number 4 burger shows extra details. It's a tall burger with a lot of different ingredients, and they also added an extra side of French fries, which would be adding extra details. The number 3 did have some cheese and tomatoes added to their burger, which does mean that they added some details, but not as many as the number 4. 2 only added a piece of cheese, and 1 was just a simple burger of a burger and the bun. Patience. Here we have 4 drawings of an eye, and each drawing is a little bit different. Number 4, the eye has extra details added. They started to do a little shading with their picture and adding extra details. Number 3 is a very good drawing, but it doesn't have as many details as number 4, but it's still a very good drawing. Number 2 is pretty basic, but it's leaving out some of the parts of the eye that we might need, like eyelashes. And number 1 doesn't have many details at all. When you complete your artwork, always look at your project's visual scale to see if you're missing anything. What I have here is a picture of a generic visual arts holistic rubric scale, and what it shows is the things that we're looking for in our artwork. For every project, you'll have a very detailed one that goes along with exactly the project that you're looking for, and a picture of what a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1 would look like. All right, it's time to finish up. All right, boys and girls, now we're ready to add some snow, some more snow. We're gonna actually add a little snow pile to our watercolor snowflakes. You'll need a piece of white paper that is, you don't need a ton of it, just enough that we can rip up some to make a nice little snow pile. All right, so what we're gonna do first is you're gonna take this paper and you're just going to rip it into lots of little pieces. So we're just gonna start to make a pile, ripping up our pieces of white paper. once you get a nice little pile of ripped paper, then you're going to need to get either a glue stick or a glue bottle, and either one will work. I'm going to use a glue stick for my demonstration, but if you just have a glue bottle, you can use a glue bottle. It'll just take a little extra time to dry. All right, so what we're going to do is I want you to do is you're going to put some glue on this area of your paper. So what I did is I just took my glue stick and I put like a wavy line, kind of like a hill, and I'm putting lots of glue. I'm going to fill this whole spot right here with my glue. All right, now you're going to take that pile of ripped up paper and you're going to start sticking it onto your paper here. And we want to make sure that when we stick our paper that we don't leave a ton of spots in between. If you look closely, you can see I'm overlapping, which means I'm taking some of my paper and parts of it are going over top the paper next to it, because we want to fill in this whole area that we put all the glue on, and we don't want to leave really any parts of the paint area shining through, because this is our snow hill that we're making, and we wouldn't be able to see through a snow hill to see the sky. So we want to make sure that we cover this whole area. So when you put your glue down, if you're using a glue stick, just make sure that you put glue on that whole section. And if you're using a glue bottle, you also want to make sure that you fill it with glue, but you may not need to use as much as you would for a glue stick. And if you run out of ripped paper like I did, because I didn't rip up enough, then you can just go ahead and rip up some more. And you're going to keep sticking it down to fill in your snow to make our nice little hill of all our snow. Now, one thing that you could do if you wanted is you could rip extra papers and create a snowman to put on your hill if you'd like. And I'm going to show you how to do that here next. And you don't have to add the snowman if you don't want to, but it is a kind of a fun little addition to your picture. So if you want to do it, then you can. And so what I'm going to do is all you need to do if you want to create a snowman is you're going to cut 2 circles out of white paper. So I would cut a smaller circle and then I would cut a larger circle. So 1 small circle and 1 bigger circle. So now I have a big circle and a small circle. And I'm going to put my snowman right on top of my snowbank. Big circle on the bottom, smaller circle on top, and then you can use a marker or crayons to add your details to your snowman. I'm going to add a carrot nose. So if you want, then you can go ahead and you can add a snowman of your own. And if you want to get real creative, you could add extra details by creating a hat for your snowman, and you could also add, let's see, I'm going to add some arms to my snowman, some stick arms. And then if you want, you could either cut a hat or you could use markers and color right onto your painted picture to add your extra details. And again, you do not have to add a snowman if you don't want to, but if you want to, I highly encourage adding some extras to your picture. And once you add your extra details, then you've completed your watercolor snowman. Don't forget to upload your work once you're finished. Watch this video on how exactly to upload your artwork to Canvas. I'm going to show you how you're going to upload your artwork into Canvas for art. When you click your module and you have your assignment, under your assignment, you're going to see an option that says Upload Your Artwork Here. When you see Upload Your Artwork Here, you're going to click it. And up here in the corner, it will say Submit Assignment. You're going to click Submit Assignment. And once you've taken a photograph of your artwork and you're ready to submit it, it's under the File Upload button where it says File, you're going to click Browse. You're going to find your art project. So I'll click this one. Once you have your art project selected, then you're going to hit Submit Assignment. Once you've hit Submit Your Assignment, it should say over here, Submitted. Once it's submitted, that's all you need to do. All right, boys and girls, see you next time.